Yes, it is. This meeting will be recorded for public record.
Good evening. Call this meeting in the order of the City of Seaside Community Safety Advisory Committee. Call to order at this time. We'll have roll call.
Thank you, Chair Jones. Call to order is at 5:45 p.m. Roll call, Chair Jones. Vice Chair Thomas.
Present.
Commissioner Amarante.
Present.
Commissioner Velasquez.
Present.
Commissioner Foliaki is excused. And Commissioner Katz is also excused.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Yes, a quorum has been established.
Thank you so very much. At this time, we will review our agenda. All members, commissioners have had a chance to review the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda? No additions to the agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda?
Motion to accept the agenda?
I second the motion.
Been moved and second. Are there any questions on them? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is overwhelming. Thank you so very much. We have an agenda. We'll move to public comments.
Chair Jones, at this time, there are no attendees on participating in Zoom.
And there are no attendees participating in person. And public comments are now closed. We need to approve the minutes from our last meeting of October 16th. Did all the commissioners have a chance to review the minutes that was sent out via email? Our October 16th. Oh, I have it. I'm marking on it. I'm sorry. Are there any questions or approval of correction for the minutes of October 16th, 2024? Any additions? If not, can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I move to accept.
Been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and second that we accept the minutes of October 16th, 2024. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's not opposed. The minutes have been accepted. Thank you. Right. Now we'll move on to business items. Did we approve the minutes from October 16th? We just did that. Business item, right? The 2024-25 annual workplace assignment updates. Let me start to my right.
Okay, thank you. I have a list here of our 2023 goals starting in January of 2023, where we started using license plate reader.
There are license plate readers. I don't know if they call them that. I don't know if that's the proper name for them. Is that the proper name? Kind of, sort of. Yes. They like sort of like shot spotters or something like
We
that.
call it flock system, but it's license plate readers.
Yeah, Flock is just a brand name, right?
Right.
And then there was a AB 481 presentation. Then we had an invitation for ride-alongs. We had a 9/11 commemoration in September. There was also October 25th, 2023, there were fireworks comments from community members. And then in March of this year, Commissioner Kodak and myself presented at the City Council meeting. And in August, we had the National Night Out. So those are events that we come under our prior conference.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right? And then we're just gonna move all of those items from the right column to the middle column.
Right.
And I think I did it right. I hope so. I don't appreciate it.
I think you got it right.
Yeah, I hope so. But if I missed anything, Chief, let us know. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Oh, I just had the update that I stated last meeting in regards to just taking that one word out
Right.
of my section for history. That's it.
Okay. Then next time at our next meeting, we will try to compile all of this, right? And so that we can have at least a rough draft. So that we can give it to each of us and we can review it again and then we can. Yes, sir.
That's a good idea.
All right, thank you. I hope I'm reading right, Jenna. Is this the right one?
Yeah.
Review and discuss grant obtained by King City for Community Security Camera Program. That was Alan's, that was Commissioner Katz item that he wanted on the agenda. And so we'll pass on that and we'll keep that on the agenda for next time. Unless this Commissioner Allen, Katz. So we can keep that in the agenda, so when Commissioner Katz is better. Yes,
Table to next meeting.
yes. Moving right along, we have our reports from our commissioners. We'll start to my far left.
Actually, I guess necessarily it's not a report, but I attended along with Chair Thomas the tarot training, which was amazing. I had taken a lot of notes. And so I had the question because they offer, I guess, a master training, which is like a 3-day training, if that is something that the commissioners could possibly take if they wanted. Going through the information that Mr. Diaz sent me, it has to be, I guess, you have to be sponsored by a government entity in order to do so. And so I had emailed asking about that. Is that something that commissioners could do? And then, basically how would that work? So that is my question.
We did receive a reply from. What's his name? Yes,
Oh, okay. I didn't see it.
Well, no, I didn't send it.
Oh, okay.
right. You sent it to me, yeah,
So that way you.
Oh, okay.
yeah. I did have.
I'm sorry, Chair Jones, I forgot that I don't get recorded and this is supposed to be recorded. So yes, in response to that, I forwarded the email and the inquiry to our commander, to Commander Pasconi, who also was in attendance of the training to find out the relevance or of the training topics and for him to review that. So he did respond back and I did provide that information to Chair Jones so that way he could review it and decide how to approach that.
Right. It's still in review. I'm still reviewing it because I did get that email. I don't know where it is
Okay.
right now, but
So
I'll
we
find
can
it.
table it for next meeting maybe, or to discuss
Well,
that, or?
yeah, but I think that, do you remember what the email said exactly?
He did relay that there really isn't a relevance to the commissioners and the role that you play within this commission to justify going through and going through the training. However, you and your involvement with the school district, and you may want to approach your school district because I believe that there's relevance within the law enforcement community and, in that sense with regards to the training, but it's also geared towards school, I guess, people that work within the school district. And if that's the case, maybe they can, if you do have an interest, maybe you can follow through that avenue to see if they'll send you to the training.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yes.
Oh.
That was basically. I apologize.
Oh, no, that's fine. And also too, it wasn't just for me, Commissioner Foliaki had actually expressed interest also. So that's why when I had spoke with her about it, because she couldn't make the training, I just said, well, here, I'll just ask for all of us, just in case there are any of us that are interested. So just want to make sure I put that on record.
I want to.
Yeah, it was there too, sitting on the bench with Mimi and Yvonne.
Thank you all. That's great. I'm sure we'll agree there. Great.
I would like to express my appreciation for being invited. I thought it was a very informative meeting that we attended there. Really well done presentation and appreciate the invitation.
Yes, thank you, Chief Burgess. That is the end of my report.
I was going to say you're welcome on behalf of the chief.
I too have a question. It's in regards to something that came up, I believe, at our last meeting as to whether or not our commission can create a Facebook page. And I spoke with Gina and she said that that is up to us to ask the city clerk.
I did.
And
I did. I asked.
you asked the city clerk.
You talking, I'll get it.
Just when, if and when she says, yes, I am ready to fulfill my duties and start creating a page.
Okay, then I'll circle back around and make sure that
It's okay.
yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right. That's it.
'Cause I did.
You did ask her. Okay. That's all. I have no more questions.
I also asked the city clerk about the jackets or the vests. She said that there is a space for us to purchase them. But we would need to come up with our own, what we want. And how we want. So we can, I don't know if we probably now. Maybe the city actual, but I don't think we probably should have.
Did she happen to mention if there's a budget for that, or are you responsible? Okay, did she provide what that budget was? No?
She did.
Okay. Well, that's going to help determine, just because I've got a little experience with with ordering merchandise and stuff for different entities. And so you'll need to know what your budget is, and that'll help determine what it is that you're going to order. Okay. Okay, I understand. Okay,
Once it's said on here.
right. It's recorded. Okay,
I think it's well enough to purchase. The item.
okay. Okay. I think what I'd like to do then, Chair Jones, if possible, or if you're okay with, I think I'll reach out to her via email myself as well. That way I can kind of assist in that, the process of that, and find out what the process is and how it's best sent to them, if they want you to order through them directly, or if they'd like to gather something.
The idea.
Mhm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay.
I tell you that I would like to design it, but anybody who knows me knows I'm hard. Just to be honest, I'm horrible with the design and whatever. Okay, so, and then I might pick out a jacket that no one likes. Okay, that'd be great.
And Morinti, and I've already made my report there. I very much appreciate being invited to the national threat evaluation and reporting office training. I hope to come again.
Excellent. So we'll tell the chief that we want to be permanent invitees.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's good to know what's going on.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes.
One more question in regards to when our current term ends as commissioners. Never, we're here forever.
You're here
It's
forever.
it's 3 years,
You're
right?
here forever. Thou art here.
Do you know? Thou art here forever, is that what you're trying to tell me? I'm never going to be allowed to leave?
I don't remember.
I'm not going anywhere. It's just for informational purposes only.
Yes, according to the ordinance 2003, the term of office is for 3 years. Terms are renewable at the discretion of the mayor with the approval of the city council, and no member shall serve more than 2 consecutive terms. An individual may not serve as chair more than 2 consecutive years. And to be eligible for chair, one must have been elected and served as vice chair. FYI.
That means that. Thank you so very much. You.
When is that happening? When is that happening? That's actually why I'm asking. No, no. When is that happening? Exactly.
I have no idea.
I'm like vice chair on 3 other
We have to-
boards that are coming up next year. That's why I'm asking.
Maybe we'll talk, maybe we'll ask, maybe that's a question we can ask the city clerk as well.
Why are we all laughing?
Okay, I'll put that on my list to
Thank you so
ask
much.
because I have a feeling that we are actually coming up on that 2-year mark.
So do I.
However, they may take into consideration that during those 2 years, there was a little extended period because of, I'm going to say the tail end of COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I'm going to use that.
please, thank you so much.
It's just helpful to know. I'm not going anywhere, but it's helpful to know to
Yep.
manage my time.
It is helpful to know that you will be coming to committee. So,
That made you happy. It is.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I would like to ask a question now that comes to mind here. And I forgot what it was. Give me a second, I remember. Yeah, the city froze all of the appointments, so is that gonna be lifted anytime soon that we might be able to get more members on the committee? Or on our commission? I mean, because we have thought for a long time to have a youth member that
Right.
we could really benefit from having, but we just don't.
Right.
But as long as that freeze in effect, that can't happen.
I don't know what they, well, as you know, we don't have a permanent city manager, city manager, right? The city manager,
Yeah.
that's what you was, right? And so I think that they're probably gonna continue to freeze until, this is just my thought, until they get a permanent city manager, until they, get back full staff and rolling again.
Oh, okay, we'll just keep it on her.
Absolutely. Let me see what Gina, if Gina had more information on that.
That's actually what I was going to remind the commissioners about, that we did speak about this before because was brought up. And according to the city clerk, they are basically putting that on the back burner. 1, because we're coming into the election season, and 2, we didn't have a permanent city manager in place. So they were a little higher up on the list
Other priorities.
of priority list. Yes,
But
thank you.
as we get into 2025 and we make progress on all these other things, hopefully we get some resolution.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I forgot, there's one more. Can I still make a report? Or
Absolutely.
so? Okay, so just to let everyone know, the district is doing the 2nd annual prom drive for formal wear. So I've been reaching out to retailers and just different organizations. And so I happened, Chief Burgess, to discover there was a news report for last year for the Hazleton Police Department in, I think, Pennsylvania. And they actually they had a goal of 75 dresses or gowns. They actually collected for their district 250 dresses. And so I wanted to let you guys know that I would be sending out the donation or just, donation requests, letting you guys know that if the police department wanted to participate, it would be greatly appreciated. And then also this year, because last year we did very well in regards to the items that we got. I want to say it was around 100 in regards to the dresses. And then for suits and other tuxedos and things like that and separates, maybe like 30 with everything together. And so I'm hoping that this year we can get more tuxedos and suits, because we do have students that, want to wear that to prom, and we just didn't have a lot to choose from last year. So I am hoping that we can get more participation from the community, whether it be donating gently used suits or tuxedos that they have, or if they're even willing to purchase or donate money for the purchase of that, so that we can kind of bring up that side of the formal wear options. So wanted to lay that out there, and we're looking at a date, possibly the 8th of March for the event. So we would start collecting the first week of December, going all the way till I think the 1st of March in 2025.
That's for all 4 of the high schools in the district?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Oh, wow, okay.
I sure will.
So,
Okay.
so,
So I just wanted to-
so what I heard you say
Mhm.
was that you're issuing a challenge to the police department.
Challenge, just, oh, yes, I'm issuing the challenge. No, but if, I didn't realize how many police departments nationwide.
You're supposed to say yes.
Oh, I just messed up. I messed that up. I
So
didn't.
what I heard you say.
Yes. So being that I've been looking at this nationwide, and there are a lot of police departments that have just really been showing out for prom in their local areas. And so, yes, if the Seaside Police Department would like to assist in this process, it would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Commissioner, for
Thank
issuing
you.
that,
Mm.
awesome, challenge.
Oh, and just to let you know, the formal wear that we get, the students get it for free, so there's no charge.
Yeah.
They just come and pick out 1 or 2 dresses or whatever, and it's free of charge, so, okay. Oh, we're gonna do the apparel, formal, footwear only, accessories, jewelry, we can't really do anything worn in the hair, but, like, shawls, scarves, neckties, bow ties, that kind of thing, we can't accept, but nothing worn on the head, so no hats and no headbands or anything like that. Mhm.
Thank you, Commissioners. This is a time specifically set aside for staff liaison to provide updates on non-agendized requests from the Commissioners, to provide brief information on topics under the preview of the commission. This is reports from staff.
Thank you, Commissioner and members of the committee. One question with a fundraiser. Does that go directly to Seaside kids, or is this kind of a lotto to just kids on the peninsula?
Basically, the kind of the background behind it was I wanted to make prom affordable because, coming from a low income family, a lot of my cousins did not get to attend prom, not because they didn't want to, but because it was a cost barrier. So this is a way to make it affordable for students that might not be able to go because, say, they might be able to afford the ticket, but can't afford to buy something to wear. So it's just basically trying to make it so that cost won't be a barrier for everyone, but then also not highlighting that. So
Yeah.
also saying that it's open to anyone that wants to come and get a dress. So you don't have to necessarily be someone that is in need or that can't afford a dress. We open it up to everyone so that we're not like saying, oh, this prom drive is for this list of kids, and like showing everyone who those kids are. So
Okay.
it's open to anyone.
Okay, thank you. A few updates. I'll start with the first one is we have a spay and neuter ordinance that's on before city council. We had a first reading at the last council meeting. There'll be a second reading tomorrow night at city council meeting. And essentially what this is a ordinance to try to curb some of our backyard. We call them backyard breeders. And these are people who are breeding dogs and cats primarily for money. There was a news story that went out yesterday as well. You guys may have seen it. So I won't go too much into it, but essentially the intent is to try and curb some of this activity, make sure the animals are getting the proper care, and also reduce some of the costs that we've talked about here before. We spend over $80,000 a year on sheltering services out of the PD budget. So we're trying to do the right thing, and hopefully, we'll support whatever council decides tomorrow at the second reading. Since we've met last, we had 2 different shootings in Seaside. One Both of them happened in, within a day of each other in the same area, 1900 block of Fremont. The first one was in front of, where Cerritos is at East Frontage, right near Playa, just before Playa Avenue. And East Frontage is that roadway where the shops are, just parallel to Fremont. The night after, there was a shooting across, kind of where the hotels are, Gateway in that area, and it kind of went around. We believe on the second shooting that one person was shot, not anything severe, but they were hit by a gunfire. And we're investigating that one. We have really good leads on that one. In the first shooting, we have an incredible detective. We have an incredible detective team, but in this particular shooting, Detective Weezar, which at some point you guys will meet, he is incredible at his work. And he had that thing solved very rapidly and has made 5 arrests. So everybody involved in the shooting, he arrested. And essentially what had happened in that shooting is there was a young man who came from the LA area. He was believed to have some association with the Sereno gangs. And he was tested here by some local guys who claim that they're associated with the Norteño gangs, which are opposing gangs. And he was being challenged at school, challenged away from school. And one particular evening, it was past 9 o'clock, as I recall, they saw him in a vehicle in front of that area. Words were exchanged, and someone had a gun, opened fire, and shot 9 rounds at the vehicle, hitting it 8 times. Luckily, didn't strike him at all. So that one's been wrapped up very quickly. But we had a blue ribbon panel meeting this afternoon and talked about some of those things. But the tension still in the schools are very, very present. And there was a little bit of a fight not that long ago, since we met, maybe a month ago or so. And it's the same thing. In this particular case, there was a group of kids. And I only bring up race because this is the feud that I want to try to get away from. But it's important because this is the report that came to us, is that the Hispanic kids were picking on a African-American kid who was not from the area. He lives here now, but he was originally from, I think, Atlanta or something to that effect. And they were challenging him, bumping into him in the hallways, and he was going to defend himself. And then more groups got involved and teachers were involved, and the teachers were wrestling around with kids to prevent this fight. And it spilled over after we went there and made 3 arrests of these kids who were antagonizing the young man. And the fight spilled out outside of the school campus. It was very, I don't want to call it chaotic because I've seen much worse up there, but it was definitely not something we like to deal with, in my opinion. And I responded to that one. And like I told the school leadership that day, is if you're calling us, and we got, I think, about 6 911 calls from people on campus and administrators saying, come help us. There's a brawl. We need your help, essentially. If they're calling us, it's out of control. We're coming up there to provide resources and do youth diversion. If you cannot handle a situation, we're going to come up there. And I was very clear about, and after I saw the videos, it was prevalent. I mean, they were picking on this young man. So I don't want to call it a race thing. It's bullying. It was straight up bullying. And these guys were challenging a kid that wasn't from Seaside, in my opinion. It's quieted down. I spoke to the school. I think some suspensions were handed out as well. So we're trying to stay on top of that as much as we can, but it's hard when we're the response to that. We are being called because it's already happening. And then now it's, well, what are you guys going to do to fix this? So we want more of our community organizations to have access to the campus, because when that happens, we do notice a difference. And it seems like some of the community-based organizations are not being authorized to go back on campus as frequently as they were. So that's helpful if they do, because they do have some influence. This is kind of this is actually this is a big one. I have 2 big things to announce, but we have a demo set for our department, our staff. I'm very confident we're going to move to this program, but there is a database that is ran. I believe they're based out of the East Coast. One of the South counties may already be using this, but essentially it's a program to where we can put out information to our community and have community members apply and fill out an application if they have someone in their family with special needs, whether that be an adult or a child, if there's any special things that we need to know. So if there's an emergency call, our records department, and again, I haven't done the demo yet, but this is how it's been relayed to me, and I've done some research, so I understand it a little bit, but I want to get the full demo. I'm a visual person. But essentially, we will be able to respond to a call, and someone may say, I'm using an example. My child is out of control, but they have a specific special need. We would have that, and we have made an application with you guys. We'd be able to pull something up in real time and say, okay, this is little Johnny, and little Johnny does not like elevated voice, or doesn't like shiny objects, or doesn't like to be touched on his left shoulder, or something to that effect, something that's going to give us information to have a better interaction with the community. So I'm really excited about that. It's free, which I'm very excited about. I like free. I'm very confident we're going to go with this program. We're just going to do a demo, see how we can sign up, see how we can push information out to the community. And that would be a nice thing for us, for the commission and the community to have that information out there. Another tool to help us have better interactions with people and prevent problems. The next one, shifting gears completely off gear here. And this one's kind of interesting to me anyway. But I've been in contact with the former security of Death Row Records from the 1990s. His name is Reggie Wright Jr. His father is Reggie Wright Sr. They were very heavily involved in documentaries during the Tupac Biggie situation, the murders. And Reggie Wright Jr. was the head of security for Death Row Records in the 90s. He grew up with Suge Knight. These names, by the way, I say them like I know all these people, very like friends, like I know these guys. But growing up, these names are very prevalent. So we have started, and Gina coined the name because we have had some pretty high profile speaking engagements and trainings. One was a gentleman by the name of Michael Dowd. He's on YouTube now, but he was he was labeled as the dirtiest cop in the history of the United States. He was based out of New York. He came last November and did a talk to local law enforcement, actually from throughout the state, talking about his drift into being a good cop and to being a horribly corrupt cop. And it was very informative for our police officers to see how somebody that came up from good turned totally corrupt, a drug dealer, all kinds of, if you look up that stuff, he was out of a 7-5 precinct and whatnot. So he came in November. Then as you guys know, we had Denise Huskins and Aaron Quinn from the Vallejo incident. There was the hoax situation. They claimed that there was a hoax when they were legitimately kidnapped. There's a Netflix documentary that's still running called American Nightmare. I'll go beyond to say they just came and did a speaking engagement. They're now, I call them my friends. They're friends of mine. And I talked to her actually this morning, Denise, for quite a bit of time. And now we have Reggie Wright Jr., who has confirmed the dates that you just provided me, that those dates all work for him. So him and his father have agreed to come to Seaside to host a training. We're going to probably open up to state law enforcement, but of course I would open that up to our commission and segments of our community members. And really they're not coming to entertain, they're coming to educate, they're coming to help my police officers and other police officers learn. Reggie Wright Sr. was the lieutenant of the gang unit in Compton during Compton's worst years ever. So just a knowledge base to understand this, and then to tie it into how the music industry and celebrity and all these things and how police intertwine with that, and how the community can be more engaged and more involved, and all these high profile cases we see on television now that they have strong opinions and even some inside knowledge from the past. I mean, this is, to me, growing up, this feels like there's kind of a personal thing here for me as well, because I remember these moments very vividly when Tupac was killed, when Biggie was killed. These things are something very big, because it didn't just affect these two individuals and their fans, it affected the country. There was an entire feud and gang wars throughout the United States of America, in particular on the East Coast and West Coast, and cities like even in the Bay Area and in the LA area, there was hundreds and hundreds of people who died of gang violence because of this issue. So to get some education, inside information, I think will be powerful. So I'm excited about that. And I just want to kind of go back to where we started. I think the email you got in regards to, I think you said one of the commanders, I would just respectfully disagree to a point. I think there's some value, and anytime there is a behavioral threat that we can be educated on and teach others to be aware of, I think is positive. I don't think you need to be in law enforcement per se, or need to work in a school district per se. You can be anywhere. You can be a parent, a friend, a neighbor, and see things that if you're properly educated on, you know what to do and how to report those things, and it could prevent things at all levels. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, I will ensure that I work with Mr. Diaz and getting you guys what you need to proceed with that. And with that, that's my report.
Do you have the dates of when Mr. Wright will be?
It will be in January. It's going to be either January 21st, 22nd, or 23rd, and I'm probably leaning on the Wednesday. So I will keep you guys updated on that. You'll be at a formal invitation, and we'll likely do that at the Embassy Suites, and it should be informative, probably be a couple hours or so.
Thank you.
Could we possibly, I know it's a training, but maybe, could we possibly maybe have leadership students there? If it's something, I mean, I'll share with the board, but,
How old are the students?
well, leadership, they can be in between freshman and senior year, just, but leadership, so like.
Let me
you know,
think about
class
that.
President, that kind of.
Yeah. Let me just think about that because some of the content may be very rated R.
Oh, okay, so then,
It may not be just off topic. If you go to YouTube, he has a YouTube channel called Bomb First. You'll kind of see the theme of the content that's on there. It's very raw, talks about very high profile things in the past and stories, but some of the deliveries are very much raw.
thank you. And just to make a correction to what I said, the drive is open to any student attending an MPUSD high school. So
Okay.
not necessarily anyone in the county, but within MPUSD.
Thank you.
For me, Chair Jones, thank you.
Commissioners are, everybody's okay? Everybody's good? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Prior to that, I just want to advise that the next meeting is scheduled for December 18th, 2024, 5:45 PM. Just want to make sure you double check your calendars. So,
Exactly.
right, exactly 1 week.
My wife's birthday. That's how they know.
So would you like to cancel and reconvene in January? That's why I'm bringing it up because I know we're so
think we
close to the
should. I
holidays.
think we should, to business of the holidays and family travels, and we want the commissioners to have a great holiday. And we certainly want the chief and Eugenia to have a great Christmas.
I appreciate that.
And so we will cancel that meeting for that day.
Okay,
We'll reconvene in January.
January. So the January would be, let's see, December 18th is 1, 2, 3. So the third one, two, January 15th.
January 15th,
Um,
Monday,
Yes,
January
and
15th.
yes. And I actually will be on vacation the 2 weeks prior. 2 weeks prior, both of those 2 weeks. So I'm thinking I may reach out to the commissioners if you know that you'd like to maybe present something for the agenda. I'd like to get it done before I leave possibly, which means the very end of December. So, right. And then that way I can have that stuff presented and ready to go because it'll need to be published before I even get back from vacation.
I have one question for the chief in regards to our ride-alongs. Are you available for the ride-along or do we need to schedule through your officers?
No, I mean, if you'd like to ride with me, I'm happy to have you guys ride with me as well. Yeah, definitely.
So reach out to you or Gina or,
Gina or me is fine.
okay,
Mhm.
all right. I need to do that.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. You because I thought that the database that you talked about was so interesting. But because you already have a mental health professional that goes out as well, right?
Yes.
Just confirmation.
Yes, absolutely.
And this would be an addition to that. This would be something, information that they could draw on from the homeowner or the parent or the cousin or whoever, the family member. This would be additional information that the mental health professionals can access immediately and even your offices as well.
Yes, we are inviting our family community support team to this demonstration as well. So it'll be police department staff and our family community support team. Yeah, absolutely.
That's excellent. You can never, I mean, I think that's, huh? No, this, the first thing he mentioned about the special database that they're going to review. I just thought that was excellent, because if you can get the family input or the caregiver's input as to the specifics of that person, right, in real time, so when they get there, they'll know how to best deal with that person. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. So I would just want to commend you and say that I thought that was an excellent idea for you guys to pursue. Yes, sir.
Chair Jones, I move to adjourn.
It's been moved. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and second that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:26 p.m.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you. 6:20, I'm sorry, 6:26. Thank you.
And you know what? Okay. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for that.
I will look forward to that email.